Good morning and welcome back to the channel. So I let it out in the last video there that I was going to address the hospital emergency room closures that have been happening all around British Columbia over the past, I think, year and a half, 2 years is when kind of they started, and they've been becoming more and more common, mostly around the interior and in the north. And so with the election upcoming, it's it's been a topic. You hear a lot about how David Eby and the NDP are claiming that John Rustad and the Conservatives are going to gut healthcare. They're going to close down healthcare, and so let's talk about that. Why are these emergency rooms having to go through, sometimes closures that are affecting them for entire weekends, and it's always due to doctor shortages. So where did these doctors go? We're talking in the past 2-3 years, all of a sudden, it seems like there's fewer and fewer doctors in British Columbia. We hear about people who haven't had a family doctor in years, and healthcare just seems to be like it's becoming unavailable in the province. So the question is, what happened 2-3 years ago? And I think we all know nobody really likes to talk about the elephant in the room, and that being the so-called pandemic that we went through. And I understand COVID was a thing. I was there. I even got it. Somehow I managed to survive. But anyways, yeah, you all remember the stories on the news, the feel-good stories about the frontline healthcare workers, and there'd be parades in front of hospitals, thanking these people for putting their lives on the line during the pandemic, right? And then the treatment came around, and then the mandate came around, and not everybody was willing to comply with the mandate, including, a fair number of healthcare workers who were then stripped of their hospital rights. In many cases, they were terminated from their positions. And then, fast forward a little bit into the future from then, I recall a news story where Ontario was having some issues with the number of doctors they had in the province. And Doug Ford had made the comment that, well, British Columbia is firing a bunch of them. Why don't we hire them? And Alberta had the same idea. British Columbia doesn't want these people. Let's offer them jobs. I remember at the time, the Prime Minister even weighing in on this. And at the time, it would have been Health Minister Adrian Dix as well. Yep. Both saying that was a very, kind of putting it at that this was an underhanded thing to do. That they shouldn't have been offering these people jobs. So last year, at the Union of BC Municipalities meeting, I'm not sure where it was held last year, but it's a forum for the elected officials from the small towns, the regional districts. They all get together, they have their meeting, and they kind of come up with what their agenda is going to be for the year, and then they bring that to the provincial government, and they say, hey, this is what local government wants. And they introduce these non-binding motions to the provincial government. But if the provincial government has any sense, they, obviously they should be listening to what the local government wants, right? Sorry. So, a co-worker of mine, one of my colleagues, is he represents one of the regional districts up here in the north. And he was with a group of like-minded individuals within the within local government, had come together with the resolution that they brought forward, controversial resolution to hire back the healthcare workers that the province had fired. The resolution was going to be, we, the local government, ground level government, want to see the healthcare workers hired back so that we can improve healthcare services. And then it was put to a vote. Before it goes to a vote, there's discussion on the floor. the Madam Chairperson, who was aware of what this resolution was before, because she's got the agenda, right? So she had an idea what was coming, and as he's walking up the aisle to present his resolution, she was very confrontational with him as he was coming up, very sharp and abrupt. Anyways, he gets to the front, he makes his resolution, opens the floor to discussion, and well, let's just say that it was not very well received, voted down. I believe 70% of the provincial municipal officials voted against. They were actually very happy with getting 30% of these people to vote for it at the BC municipality level. During the discussion, there were town councillors, at least one. This woman was in tears at the idea that a doctor without a vaccination would even have the potential to serve her at a hospital. So was resoundingly defeated. I believe the BC government has backtracked on that now, and they're willing to hire the healthcare workers back, but they've, for the most part, they went to greener pastures. They're working elsewhere. Why would they want to come back? Really, why would they want to come back? We've still, in this province, if you want to attend medical school, this gentleman's daughter wanted to study to become a nurse. She has a heart for elder care and is studying at the U of A in Alberta, because you cannot be a nursing student in British Columbia unless you're vaccinated. So we're still not pulling back on that. We're doubling down on it. So where are the healthcare workers gone? Well, they've headed off to Alberta, they've headed to Saskatchewan, they've headed to Ontario. They're not under any legal obligation to work in British Columbia. And if you're going to fire people, if you're going to try to take pensions, why in the world would they want to work for you? Adrian Dix, David Eby, this happened on your watch. You mandated this, you demanded this, and you forced us into a situation where our emergency rooms are closing all over the interior, sometimes for entire weekends, and this is directly because of actions that you have taken, directly. So who's adversely attacking healthcare in British Columbia? It's the BC NDP, who is actively and deliberately attacking the healthcare system in British Columbia. It's not John Rustad and the Conservatives. So that's my take on this. I mean, I even personally know a doctor in Smithers, British Columbia, who lost his hospital privileges. They didn't take his license to practice, but he lost his hospital privileges. I guess another point on this is that municipal elections have consequences too. Voter turnout at the municipal level is extremely low. I don't live in Smithers, but a co-worker does, and he was talking about the last municipal election in Smithers, where this real activist mayor was re-elected in the town. They have a very activist town council, but I think maybe 35% of eligible voters came out to vote in that municipal election. So, I think that we need to galvanize ourselves for these municipal local elections as well, because they have direct consequences on the areas where you live. So keep that in mind next time there's a municipal election. And honestly, I think it's time that we encourage people to even run in these types of elections, and we need to get ourselves out there and vote in these small local elections that most of us can't be bothered with. I mean, I'm a rural voter, so I'd be voting in a regional district election, I guess. And I don't even know who represents my region. How's that? So I'm just as guilty. But maybe it's time we change that. So anyways, that's my take on the healthcare system. The NDP are the ones that are causing us all the problems in the healthcare system. So until the next one, Bless you from the Faith, Heart, and Homestead. I should have mentioned at the beginning, I hope you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you next time.